According to an article in Daily Express, Mayweather might be the culprit or the reason why the Anthony Joshua Deontay Wilder fight hasn't happened. You can also throw the Terrence Crawford Errol Spence fight in the hat also. The reason the article says this is because what Mayweather did to Pacquiao. It took 6 years to make that fight. And you see how big that fight got. And today's fighters are following the same blueprint. And that's why fight fans like us have to wait for their big fights to happen. And at this point, I think Spence rather fight Canelo than fight Crawford. That's right, folks. It comes down to money. You have to really listen to what Deontay Wilder says because he contradicts himself so much. First, he says he wants generational wealth. Then he says money's not important. Now he's asking boxing fans to be patient, let this fight build up so we get as much money as we can because we risk our lives in the ring. The PBC is trying to build this fight up like Ali and Frazier. Freddie Cunningham, Anthony Joshua's longtime manager, says eventually when the deal is done, it'll be a 2-fight deal. It will be 1 fight in the UK and then 1 fight in the United States. Cunningham said he didn't know the financial details yet. He also states that they can't worry about that right now because right now, Anthony Joshua is trying to make a name in America. And June 1st, which is next Saturday, he'll be fighting Andrew Reed. How does this tie into Mayweather? They're following Mayweather's formula. I also think Mayweather has a vested interest in the PBC. If this is true, the more money this fight makes, the more money Mayweather makes. And you can look at the whole stable of the PBC, not just Deontay Wilder. I mean, just think about it. How many big fights have the Charlos been in? We've been waiting for that Errol Spence Terrence Crawford fight for 2 years. Not to mention Tank Davis against Lomachenko. Up to this point, the PBC been starving fans for the fights we want to see. Remember when Errol Spence was saying Crawford's on the wrong side of the street? Well, these welterweights are on the same side of the street and they still can't make the fights. Keith Thurman is talking about fighting Errol Spence at the end of 2020. By that time, Errol Spence will be a junior middleweight or a middleweight. Keith Thurman clearly doesn't want any parts of Errol Spence. He says he's not fighting Spence for 1 belt. He needs 3 belts to fight Spence. So that fight's not going to happen. I think Errol Spence will move up to middleweight before Keith Thurman even thinks about fighting him. There are also been reports that the Spence and Porter fight might be in trouble. Part of the reason is Shawn Porter's dad thinks Shawn Porter is a pay-per-view star. Nobody knows who Shawn Porter is. And that comes from jealousy because Mikey Garcia and Danny Garcia is scheduled to be on pay-per-view. Unlike Porter, Mikey and Danny Garcia has a fan base. Kenny Porter has to know that his son is not a pay-per-view star. Neither is Errol Spence. Regardless, they should still fight a unification match. And there's 2 masterminds behind this. I think it's Al Haymon and Mayweather. They're going to squeeze those oranges until they're dry. Till there's no more juice to be squeezed out. And then they'll set up the big fights. Hopefully by that time, the fights we want to see, the fighters are not past their prime. Leave your comments below. Do you think the PBC are starving the fight fans for big fights? JBZ, please subscribe to the channel. I'm out.